Full Moon in Libra and Aries season energy reading, human design, writing prompts, and
Loves, welcome back to my channel. Here you'll find tons of videos on wellness, lifestyle, esoterics, and so much more. And I share a lot of my life from the lived experience. Also, feel free to check out my apothecary where I make sea moss gel and other goods. Subscribe if you love this content.
Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Ballantyne, and today I'll be doing a full moon reading as well as kind of an Aries season energy overview. So there's going to be just a lot of really good information in today's reading. I plan to cover Aries season self-care. I've already written it out, so you'll see me look towards my notes. I'll also be doing a human design reading within all of that, so giving you guys a gate and a gene to contemplate on for the month of April, as well as some writing prompts. So 4 questions that you can think about over the next 4 weeks and just really dive into the energy of the season as well as the full moon energy, which we all know is about releasing, letting things go, beginnings and endings or new revelations. So let's dive right into it. But of course, before I do, I'll tell you a little bit more about me. I'm a human design reader. I'm also a wellness entrepreneur. I run an apothecary, so I make sea moss gel, and sea moss is a sea algae that has 92 of 102 minerals the body needs. So it's really, really nourishing for the body. So I do tons of different things, and on my channel you'll see me talk about wellness, human design, and also my journey through motherhood. So if you like all those things, before we jump into the video, feel free to subscribe here, as well as also check in with my website and see a little more about what I do and just get a full spectrum of who I am, as well as my Patreon. So I'm pretty much all over the planet. I really try to stay connected with everyone through social media. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, yeah, everywhere. So you can follow me as well as check out previous videos, but let's jump into so the full moon in Libra energy. It's a full moon in Libra, but we also have the energy of Aries. So it's very unique in the sense that Aries is a planet of someone who is the entrepreneur, the self-starter. It's very like self-oriented and focused. But then we also have Libra, which is the planet of love and harmony and partnership and balance. So this is a great opportunity for us to self-evaluate for the sake of our partnerships. How can we be better in terms of how we communicate? Excuse me, let me have some water. It is allergy season, so get a little raspy. But how can we communicate in terms of our partnerships, in terms of how we show up for people? I feel like since the pandemic, I know a lot of my friends, or just even people I know in general, has been way more like anxious about big social settings, or now having to go back and be around a lot of people or crowds. So think about that. Like, how can you become more confident or kind of let go the anxiety of showing up in bigger spaces and getting back into community and being around people? So that is already a lot in itself, right? Just like covering the overall energy of each planet. But now we're going to just talk about some overarching themes that we've been experiencing from March and coming into April. Because as we know, Aries season has started around what, like March 20th, March 21st. Don't quote me to be exact, one of those dates. But we have some themes that we've been seeing from March, which would be organization. I feel like March was all about getting more organized, getting things out the house, decluttering. And now April's about getting things sorted now that you know what you need and know what you have. So we have that energy that we've been experiencing, also being in flow state, being more creative, being more in tune with nature's cycles, with the end of March, we had the spring equinox. So now we've gone through daylight savings time. And we are seeing a little more sunshine. So now is a great opportunity to make use of that time and kind of get the ball rolling on some things that we've been seeing or wanting to happen but hasn't happened as of yet, or we just couldn't get to. I feel like, a lot of us have been dealing with like little pitfalls that have been happening, or like occurrences that have come up, like last minute emergencies or changes in plans, and just kind of having to navigate around them. This is a good time to kind of catch up on anything that slipped during that time. Some themes for April. So now we have harmony, cooperation, beginnings. Again, it's a good time to find harmony and find balance and see like, how can I catch up on the things that I've slacked off on, or how can I gain greater insight on like when to go and when to stop, and kind of when to follow nature cycles. We have respect and discipline. So the human design reading we'll get into is gate 21. Gate 21 is all about control versus submission, and learning really how to balance that energy so that we can come into the gift of authority, which is truly kind of like control but with respect, I feel like. And then we have choices, strategy, and empowerment. So of course, like since we're in April and we're also in Aries season, and Aries season is very much about the self-starter, what choices can you make that are like very like initiative taking, to be exact, or like putting yourself out there. Also, by doing so, you're probably going to need some sort of strategy or plan. And we know that Aries is ruled by Mars, which is the god of war. So if you think about war and showing up in war, it's all about being strategic and having a plan so that you can kind of get to the other side of things. So the overall like energy or quote that I had for this season is, every opinion is of value, including yours. Every opinion is of value and including yours. And that is because at the beginning of Aries season, we had gate 17, the gate of opinions. And with the gate of opinions, you see that every single opinion actually has a level of truth to it. And with that means that every opinion is valued in the Maya. Like, unfortunately, the world we live in, there is a reason for every opinion. We may not understand or even want to understand sometimes the opinions of others, but here we get the kind of gem or the sage wisdom that it is of value. But if their opinion is of value and they are a reflection of consciousness of the Maya, then also is yours. So how are you going to show up in the world where your opinion is of value? Because I can think about all the horrible things that are happening in the world, right? But I can also choose to be a voice of positivity. And I think that that is kind of what this gate is bringing up here for us, is how can we choose to show up and like let our opinions be heard, which I love that that's the beginning of Aries season and a great way to start the zodiac year. But yeah, showing up in our creativity and ourselves. Let's get a little more into the energy reading. So I've already written it out, so I'm going to read a little bit, but then I'm going to get it a little chatty with it for you guys. So I said, time to bet on yourself. This Aries season full moon is about self-elevation. We take our power back when we no longer need to be validated by others, but can feed our need for self-improvement with positive change and upward motion. Because the reality is, like, you are wanting to get better so you can see a level of growth, whether it's in your lifestyle, your finances, your love life. Like, we are here to create, and as creators, we are expanding. So we want to add on to things in life, right? It says stagnation comes when we lack motivation. So I know, especially now that we are out of like seasonal depression era, and we can move into spring happiness era, we may be feeling like we were in an energy of feeling stuck or feeling stagnant, but now we can look and say like, okay, I can't be stagnant anymore because I need to get out of that rut, right? So how do we manage lacking motivation? Well, we manage lacking motivation by choosing discipline. And choosing discipline means showing up when you don't feel like it. Believe it or not, I've recorded this whole video already, and then in the middle of it, my daughter wanted a feed, and that was cool, but I decided I wanted to record it over. For me, that is a level of discipline because it's been a lot just getting to myself to sit down to record. But I also know that like this is something I love, this is a passion of mine, this is something I want to do, and as a creative, like part of that discipline is showing up for myself in my creativity. And again, by doing so, I hope that it's encouraging you to do the same, right? Okay, so how can you choose to be accountable to yourself to create a more loving relationship with your soul, your family, and the world? And this is something that I guess I'll get a little personal with, because as me and my partner became parents, it's been really interesting when you both are like used to caring and loving and showing up for each other, but now you're in a space that you both have to energetically give of yourself to a child. So you're just trying to show up for yourself and navigating how do I do that but also still show this person that I love and I care for them and all these things, right? Because it's gonna look different. But how you do that is by taking care of yourself, because they're probably in a space that they need that energy to take care of themselves. And by doing that, hopefully it creates more time where then you can show up for each other. So just sharing that tidbit, because I'm sure I'm not the only boot up person that's a parent that's going through this, and also navigating how to just, of course, live soft life, be present, and all the lovely things, but also deal with the realities of life, of starting a new family, of merging lives together, and all that good stuff. Let's see. All right, so now let's talk about gate 21. And gate 21 in the Chinese hexagram is the gate of control. Actually, I have the book right here, so I'm just gonna pull it up for you guys, because why not? All right, well, gate 21 is a gate that physiologically is placed in the lungs, which I find really interesting because gate 21 is about control. And when you think about emotional regulation and control of self, it truly does start with your breath and your breathing, and like being able to control like yourself on a very primal level, right? Like how you just take in air, how like your body's rhythms move, right? So we have gate 21, which is the gate of control. We also have it connected to the amino acid arginine. I like to leave that little tidbit of the amino acids because I think that's for people who are deep divers of the human design experience or human design program. If that is something that you're interested in learning more about, definitely get a one-on-one reading with me or learn about my services through my website. But arginine, it's really interesting that it's found in romaine lettuce and a few other foods. So I do highly recommend that if you are someone that's interested in the gene keys or like learning to eat based on your gene key and amino acids, then looking into like certain transits and like gene keys that are passing, or gates. I kind of will use the words gene keys and gates and like not interactingly, but I use them. So if you hear me saying one or the other, they are basically the same 64 hexagrams, and I'm speaking of the same system. But yes, when different transits are happening, different amino acids are affected or more present because there are different gates that these amino acids are connected to. So if you're want to learn more about that, then definitely look into Arginine while we are talking about like the full moon in Libra and Aries season. So now let's jump more into gate 21. I'm going to go into the reading that I wrote. So it says, this month you may feel the desire to be independent and self-reliant. Again, because Aries season, God of War, we're focused on being self-starters, taking initiative, being the one who's in control. And it says, the entrepreneurial spirit is the spirit of Aries. That's the first of the zodiac and ready to welcome a new opportunity and abundance. Entrepreneurs are major risk takers, and these risks lead to big rewards. Practice being methodical this month as you state your claim to your business opportunities, your new connections, and how you nourish your body and where you choose to go. The archetype of the 21st gate is the hunter. So move intentionally and your gains can be really big this month. So again, calculated moves, being intentional with where you spend your time, your energy, all those things are going to be really imperative for the month of April. But also we can see major changes and really big windfalls or successes, because the energy of the air is like very much of new beginnings, right? Kind of like the Fool, like anything can happen, miracles, abundance, all that good stuff. Now let's get into some self-care for Aries season. So try a hot yoga workout or any heated class. Aries is a fire sign, so I'm thinking let's amp up the heat in our bodies this season. We could even try some hot teas or spicier foods, like adding like fennel or cardamom or like more black peppercorn, ginger, these types of things in our diet, just getting more heat going in our bodies and energetically like preparing for the upcoming summer. Next, negotiate a higher rate for yourself. So whether you're a freelancer or you are in a corporate position, you're a corporate baddie, as they say, you can ask for more. Ask for more in your love life as well. What do you feel like the people in your life can step up and do for you, as well as what can you offer? Again, if you're negotiating to ask for more, this is because you are also a highly valuable person or MVP for your organization, for your team, for your family. So show up, don't be afraid to ask for more, especially if you know that you give that. The next thing is create a financial plan for your self-care. So I really think that it's important to have a financial budget for self-care, because I think often when finances get tight, that's the first thing that we cut off for ourselves. So really think about how you can implement having a budget for things that you like, whether it's your hair, your nails, your skin, buying really nice beauty products or fragrances. Add it, create a budget for it, and then keep yourself accountable to taking care of those things for yourself. Next is try glamour magic. So I know you hear a lot of the brujas talk about glamour magic, but really what it is beautifying yourself for the sake of creating or gaining more of what you desire. For example, you do beauty magic when you are getting ready to leave your house and go on a nice date or go on an interview. So I did glamour magic actually the opposite way, by also being vulnerable. So there's two ways you can do it, well, countless ways, but you can also like vary from one side of the spectrum to the other. I chose to kind of be more vulnerable. I created a really vulnerable reel about how I felt, and I feel like by doing that, I just kind of went into, I don't really care how I show up now, because I was honest and truthful. So that was my glamour magic of like kind of showing myself not as confidently, and it actually made me more confident. For you, it could be vice versa. It could be showing up beautiful and decked out so you can feel more confident. Either way, it works. Next is write 10 physical attributes about yourself that we love. Often, especially when we're tired, grumpy, or not feeling good about ourselves, it's easy to complain. So I say, why don't you take a moment to write maybe 10 things you really love about yourself, so that you can think about that more often when you are thinking about the things that you don't enjoy, or that I don't even want to say think about the things you don't enjoy, because I'm hoping that's not like a primary thought, but basically by doing this, it'll help you prioritize being in a more positive mind state, especially if you can be more susceptible to negative thought patterns or just ways of being. So now I'm going to leave you guys with a few writing prompts for the full moon in Libra as well as Aries season. The first writing prompt is, what partnerships are no longer serving me? How can I combine my creative interests to be a leader in my industry? What actions can I initiate in my love life? Who can I help feel more beautiful? And then also, I do want to leave with a really, really funny like quote, I guess, that it wasn't really a quote when I heard it, but I'll just tell you guys. So earlier today when I did make this video and then had to stop, I decided to listen to Tiana Tarot as I was walking with Indy. I take her on like daily walks, and when I was doing that, she makes a joke about Beyonce recording herself and like really like in that season of her like coming on the rise of her success, she was always like recording herself and on her MacBook or walking around with her MacBook. And we know when Beyonce's in the studio, homegirl has her MacBook. She be hopping off yachts, you know, doing all this stuff with the little MacBook on the side. So I'm in my Beyonce MacBook era, and I think you guys are too. So I love that message that she sent. So shout out to you, Tatiana Tarot. But I wanted to share it here because I do really feel like there's a lot of us that are like at the beginning of that Black Renaissance, that's creating new things that we've never seen before, that's combining things that we've never seen before and showing up for ourselves. And we're in our MacBook era. So walk around with your MacBook or your phones or your devices that you're going to use to create. Have fun, show up for yourselves, show up for each other, and just like do something different. I think Beyonce really inspired us to be creative and unique and like be one of one. So here's an opportunity to do so. And the full moon in Libra for Aries season is a great like jumping point for that. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm signing off. If you like this video, I highly recommend joining my Patreon, where I talk about basically all of these things in different ways. I have a Patreon that focuses on mindfulness and motherhood, as well as one for human design. And then I have like the Patreon for basically someone who's like, I love this whole video and I'd love to hear more about all the things you're talking about. And it's kind of like a holistic view, like holistic meets esoteric. And that is like my bigger Patreon package. But overall, I just have so many fun offerings and things. So take a look at it. And again, if you like this video, subscribe. I'm gonna make more videos about my lock journey, about full moon and new moon readings. I really think these are great in pairing with my Instagram posts that I usually do on the new moon energy reading. So this is the first time I decided to do a video, and I actually love it because I feel like it's a great long form version of those posts. And like for someone who enjoys hearing me talk about these things and like to hear things from like the horse's mouth, yes, then I really hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.